Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the podcast. I'm excited for this one because we talked to some of everybody. And today we're going to talk about a topic that everyone should be aware of, and that is government contracts. But before we do, let me hit you with the stats, right? According to a 2020 report by the National Black Chamber of Commerce, Black-owned businesses received only 1.8% of federal contracts in 2019, despite making up roughly 8% of all the small businesses in the United States. What's so crazy about that is a 2019 report from the Government Accountability Office found that Black-owned small businesses received only 4.1% of prime contracts. And that's from the Small Business Administration in 2017. What does that mean? That means that there is money out there for us to grab. And today we're going to sit with an expert, somebody that's not just an expert, but somebody that talks to the people in a way that we truly can get it. And you're going to walk away with this episode saying, you know what? I'm about to learn and do government contracts. Ladies and gentlemen, the one and only Jason White, my guy, is in the building. What's going on, bro?
Yo,
Listen,
feel, baby.
man, listen, man, I'm excited to get you here, man. You know, what's so funny is that, we met, it's a crazy story, yo. We met at Rick Ross' crib, right? And I saw what you was talking about. I'm like, yo, we got to get him on Schools Over Now What podcast. So welcome to the show, bro. Let the people know exactly, a little bit about you so they can get an understanding about what we're going to talk about today.
Yeah, man, for sure, man. I'm Jay White, first name, last name. I'm just a regular guy, man. I'm from Norfolk, Virginia, and I just figured out something that matched my personality. I just figured out something that I could lateral my skill set, which I had none, but in terms of just communicating, and I can effectively make business and do business with the federal government, the largest purchaser in the world. That's all.
Listen,
That's it.
man, I'm excited for this, man, because like we're gonna break this down. I told you before we hit that record button. I'm like, yo, we never talked about this before, right? And we want to really break it down. So I got the questions from my audience, but let's talk about like how does a guy we do our research here. How does a guy go from a 1.9 GPA at Booker T Washington in Maryland to military to being able to secure multi-millions in government contract? Like, how do you go from that, bro?
Yeah, man. So look, Booker T in North Virginia, baby. Shout out VA, two up, two down. You feel me? So it's it was a thing that really just fell in my lap, just to keep it 100. Like I wasn't looking to be an entrepreneur. I damn sure won't looking to do government contracting. My homeboy just reached out to me when I was working at the gas station and said he is about to do government contracting with trucking. So I said, because of that, let me get down, man. Just teach me. Just teach me what you know. And he got locked up that same night that he was talking to me about it. I had to go down the YouTube rabbit hole myself, and I'm self-taught, man. So I always knew I didn't have the money, the credit, the resources for me to do these contracts, but I can always connect with somebody that's already doing that work that the government needs.
Facts. It sounds like to me like you found the missing piece, right? The missing piece, and there's an opportunity in playing the role of the connector, right? The connector who puts things together. So I gotta ask you a couple questions, right? Now we wrote these down, and we also, we took some questions from our audience, right? So what made you get into this business and say, you know what, I can not only do it but be successful at it? Was it some things that you were doing in your past where it was like connecting the dots, or what?
Yeah, so being a street dude, right? Because I ain't grow up in the hood, so I ain't even gonna act like I did. But I was just in the streets. But all we do is connect. We connect the dots. You know what I mean? Somebody got to work. Somebody want to sell the work. We gonna connect it. So I'm used to being the conduit. I'm used to being the connection piece, right? So that was a layup right there. But then too, I'm just ultra competitive. If I start something, I gotta see it through. I'm not a quitter. I mean, I don't like to quit. So I be telling people about their IQ level. Is your IQ level high or low? And that's not how smart you are. That's your I quit level. And I always know I don't want to quit. I just want to be competitive. So those two things alone helped me realize that, all right, I can do this and I can do this at a high level. Now, was I struggling in the beginning? Yes, of course. Hell yeah. I was super struggling because I don't like to read and I don't have no patience. And that's all you got to have with government contract. You got to read and have patience. So that was a big learning curve for me. But I just ain't no quitter, man. I just had to see it through.
Having that, mentality where you're like, you know what, I won't quit. I always say consistency leads to results, right? Having that work effort is what's going to change the game for you. And all this right now, they're probably wondering and they're probably thinking, okay, how do government contracts work? Like how do they work, fam?
Yeah, yeah. So the federal government is looking to procure a product or a service. They got a budget. They got trillions of dollars. So the federal government says, okay, since we have this money, let's provide contracts to give away this money. They could do it themselves, but because they have all this money and they're mandated to provide a certain dollar amount every year to small businesses and big businesses as a whole, then they say, okay, let's do it in a way where we can do it in a contract to ask a small business to give us a product or to provide a service, and we're going to ask them to bid on it. That's all the
Mm.
government contract is.
So basically, what you're telling me is it's literally a bidding war for the product or the services.
That's it, man. I don't care what nobody tell you. You always got to bid on a government contract because they got to know what the price is. And when they ask you what the price is, you're essentially bidding. So sometimes, bro, you're not bidding against 5 and 10 people. Sometimes you're really bidding against your own price point because
Whew.
they want to know if you're charging the right price, then you got the job. If you're not charging the right price, they're gonna move on. So that's all it is.
So, like someone was saying right now, okay, we getting this information from Jay White. We really, okay, now you got their ears perked up. Like, where are these government contracts posted, fam? Are we just going on Google, like hashtagging, like where are we finding it?
Yeah, if you hashtag it, I don't know what you're gonna find, yo. But you gotta go to you gotta go to sam.gov. So there are a lot of websites to find government contracting opportunities. But when I talk about government contracting, I'm talking about it from the federal level only. Can
Mm.
you make money in the state? Yes. Can you make money with the local agencies? Of course, hell yeah. But I only talk about it on the federal level. So on the federal level, all the government contracting opportunities are on sam.gov, and there are 96,000 government contracting opportunities every day. That ain't a week, that ain't a month, that's every day, 96,000 opportunities on sam.gov.
Yeah, I hope y'all really listening right now. He just told y'all go to sam.gov. And not only is he telling you, hey, it's a contract. It's 96,000 contract. You saying this
Yeah,
is every day, fam?
every day, yo, big money, man. Like a lot of people like me, I have a team built around literally just looking at sam.gov opportunities every day. And then we start to work them because there's 96,000. So we don't have to be in one particular industry. We don't have to just be in construction. We
Mm.
don't have to be in media. We don't just have to be in lawn care, mandatory. We can be in every industry that the government is asking for a product or service because there are not enough companies that understand the process on how to even submit proposals. So because of that fact, we just killing them. And then the people I'm teaching, of course, they killing them too.
Hey, listen, so let's break this down. I want to break it down what you're teaching them because right now my audience is like, all right, cool, we listening, but we want to make money, right? Like, how do you take a contract or like, let's say someone says, look, I have this skill set, I have these services. How do you make money from that playing a role as the connector with the contract if you're not doing the work?
Good question, yo. So the mindset isn't about what I can do.
Mm.
The government don't care about you or that amazing company that you have. The mindset needs to be: can you manage the contract and or can you manage the company that's going to do the work on that contract? So most people mindsets, just like you said, bro, they come into the game and say, I got a trucking company, I got an eyelash company, I got. Okay, cool. But there's 96,000 requests a
Mm.
day for product or service. So you should think about providing that product or service first, whatever it is, and then on the back end, on the back half of you being awarded your first or several federal government contracts. Why? Because you scratched their back. And then when you tell them, yo, but I really got a transportation company,
Mm.
then they go still back. Right? So the goal is to get in, see what the opportunities are, see what the requests are, provide that request, whether you're doing it or you're asking some other company that's formulated to do it. Knock those down first. Then you can come on the back end and say, but look, I got an amazing trucking company and we can haul or transport anything you need. Now you got the government's ear.
Oh, that's crazy. I mean, what he's giving me right now is play by play, like play by play. Let's say, I know the company, right? Let's turn to a trucking company. I don't have a trucking company. I just know the trucking company that can assist with this. How would you advise somebody that is trying to submit that contract where they make money? Is it like a certain percentage where we're like, you know what? They give me $5,000, I'm gonna turn it to something else. Like tell us a little bit about that.
All right, so peep game. Let's go with that example, right? So it's a trucking solicitation. The federal government wants a trucking company to haul goods and services from Florida to California at least twice a month. So I know a trucking company that can do that because they got 18 or semi trucks that can go overnight, weeks at a time. Cool. So I reach out to Yo. I said, hey, I need a proposal for this service from Florida to California. How much are you charging me? Let's say because their driver gonna be out 2 times a month, they want to charge me 30 racks. Okay, fine. You want to charge me 30 racks, no problem. I'm going to put 10,000 on top of it because I know what the going rate is. So if I put that, because I did my research on other companies that will submit a proposal for the same price and the same job. So he charging me 20. I'm gonna put 10 on top. I'm at 30, but the overall, everybody else charging 40 and 50. So my proposal to the federal government is 30,000. He getting this 20 that he asked me for, but I'm getting 10 that I requested because and everybody's happy. And he getting $20,000 a month, and I'm getting 10 a month because that contract is probably for 3 or 4 years. I don't go for the one-hitter quitters. I teach my people how to get residual contracts, right? So we want contracts 3, 4, and 5 years, not do the work one time, get paid. Now you gotta hustle for another contract. Nah, that's why we let the compound effect take effect. So that's how you get the money. Do your own research on what the going prices are. Put your money on top of the proposed price from the sub, and then submit that to the federal government.
Yo, what Jason is teaching right now is like what I like the most about what you just said is a lot of times we make money, we get a deal done, and that's it. We hustling for the next deal, right?
Yeah.
You're teaching people really right now how to not only have compound, but at the same time, it's residual. It keeps happening, and it sounds like it's in a way in a format where people can truly walk away and say, you know what, I'm learning this from him, but I also understand the concept. But a lot of things people teach us, when we don't understand the concept, we just do what they tell us to do. So I appreciate that breakdown. And
For
for you
sure.
being in this business, what are some of like the biggest challenges you see like minorities and people of color facing when they're trying to secure some of these contracts?
Yeah, man. So I'm gonna just talk back to myself. My biggest challenges were I had to change up my vernacular to sound like a business person over the phone because you got to remember we don't get the opportunity to see these people, right?
Mm,
So we got to talk over the phone and we got to be good on the email. So my vernacular had to change, not to be super corporate, just to be super relatable. Like people don't understand. If I don't like you, I'm not doing business with you.
facts.
Period. Right? It'll never work. So I don't need to be on an email or over the phone on my high horse. I just need to say, hey, I got a job that you could possibly do. How much you charging? And just be super relatable to these general contractors that actually need work and don't understand the power of doing work with the federal government. That's one. That was one, changing my vernacular. The second one is just being consistent. Just like you said, there's a lot of times where people don't understand the concept, they're gonna just go and do it. And then when they start to see there's challenges because they didn't understand the concept, they quit. So being consistent is another challenge that when you first are entering this space, you have to be consistent, change your mindset, understand that some of the things that I talk about, you may or may not even go through it. You may have a different challenge, but understand if you be consistent, you will get what you're looking for, right? I never tell people if you fool with Jay White, you can be awarded all these contracts. Nah, if you fool with Jay White, you're gonna understand the process. And whatever you're looking for from that process, you're gonna get it if you stay consistent. So
Yeah,
those two things I advise a newbie for sure.
I like it, man, because right now what you're doing is you walking us through the process, right?
Yeah.
Like let's say I'm somebody right now, and I know my audience. They're probably what's the website you said again? I think you said is sam.gov, right?
Yeah.
They're on sam.gov right now. Like they are literally listening to this, watching this, and they're on that website right now. They see a contract that sounds like something promising, but they don't have a person right? They don't have a person or they don't know anybody that does exactly what this contract is asking for. How do they at that point take that information and find somebody who fits the mold and then propose it to them to then be able to submit that $30,000 offer?
Yeah, man, this is a layup question. This is a layup for me. I call it a layup because I only dunked like 3 times in my life, so this is a layup for me. Understand this. Everybody can manage expectations. If you listen to the sound of my voice, everybody can manage the expectation. If you know what the expectations are, you can effectively communicate that to anybody once you know what the expectations are, right? So I use Google. There's a company in every city that's formulated to do whatever the government is asking for. So just go to Google. Number one, that's the first thing. Then number two, we're not trying to convince anybody to that we have a contract for them. Remember, they already do this work anyway. So
Tell
all
them.
I'm doing is saying, yo, can you do this job and how much you charging me? That's all I'm asking. And once I know that, I don't have to lock them into anything because I ain't won a contract myself yet. You feel me? So I'm gonna understand what the expectations are from the federal government. I'm gonna provide those expectations over the phone or over email with the general contractor. I'm gonna get the price from them. I'm gonna put my price on top and I'm gonna submit it to the federal government. And then right after that, I'm gonna wash, rinse, repeat. I'm gonna do it again.
Mm. All right, so look, I'm with you, and you probably like, man, Sean is asking these questions because at the end of the day, I'm not only am I curious, but I'm putting myself in the shoes of somebody right now who is trying everything that you're saying. Also, guys, make sure that you check the link at the very bottom. Be sure to sign up for whatever Jason got going because he's giving you the game right now, give you the play. So right now, right, let's say this, right? Let's say we got the contract, we found the person, we submitted it, we got the 30,000 from the government. First off, how long does it take for the government to give us that 30,000?
Yeah, so everybody on the net 30. So they got 30 days to pay you. So you invoice at the beginning of the month. By the end of the month, you got all your money. You don't got just you got your money plus theirs. All the money come to you because you're in the middle. And then you make sure you get your money to the sub.
Okay, cool.
So net.
All right, cool. So walk with me. So now we give the money to the sub, right? At what point or how do we say, you know what, let's introduce the sub to the actual contract? Is it just like an email setup? Like how is that? Because someone right now is going play by play right now. They already done signed up for whatever you got going on.
Right. Let's help them make it make sense. So at the end of the day, they not on the government contract. I am. I'm in the middle. I'm not putting them on my documentation with me. The government gave I was awarded the contract, my company. I got my subcontractor on a service agreement to do a job that we agree that he or she can do. That's it. They not on the contract. They on the service agreement. Because people can't check this out. If my plumbing in my house goes bad every month,
Mhm.
and I know, I'm gonna call the plumber and say, "Yo, every month, can you come to my house and do what? Fix the plumbing. How much you want for it?" Ain't no contract signed for that. You know
None.
what I'm saying? They gonna just come to the house, boom, do it. Just like when people got lawn care services, you pay them every month. They just cut the grass and mow. Come on, man, we gonna make it easy. They not on the government contract. They on the service agreement to do a job that they're saying they can do at the same price. That's it.
Oh, that's tough. That's tough. All right, man. You give him a play by play. You probably like, man, Sean keep asking me these questions. He gonna give him the whole format. Listen, I mean, 96,000 jobs, right? Or 96,000 jobs. Cause I know you about to make somebody a lot of money. So with 96,000 jobs that are out there right now, right? What would you advise someone to do, right? Is it like, all right, am I going through these different job opportunities, different contract opportunities? Am I going through it like centralizing my location? Like if I live in North Carolina, am I only looking for North Carolina opportunities? Or am I broadening the scope, saying, you know what, I'm gonna look for Atlanta, I'm gonna look for New York. Like walk us through that process and has that process been profitable or has that process created more headaches?
Yep, that's the best question because remember, I'm operating on the federal level only. So I don't care nothing about nobody backyard and where you live at and where you're from. There's a federal facility in all 50 states, which means what? There are opportunities outside of where you live at. So I don't. put myself in a box. I don't teach people to put themselves in a box and just look in North Carolina or just look in wherever you live at. Because in California, in Florida, North Dakota, South Dakota, Idaho, Missouri, there are contracting opportunities. Remember, it's 96,000 of them for a reason. And all 96,000 of them not just going to be in your backyard. So we don't care nothing about the backyard because on the federal facility, we broaden our horizons and we everywhere.
Man, I like this, man. I like this because a lot of people have been on this show, and one thing we're doing this year, guys, you already kind of noticed it. We've been doing a podcast since 2018. We're 200 plus episodes on the road to 300, and a lot of people have been on the show with some of the most inspirational, motivational things, but very few people have been on the show where they're going to give you the play step by step, and you're gonna make money. And Jason's doing that for us right now. So, Jason, I want to ask you a question that we ask every single person, right? They've learned a lot right now, right? Their mind is in overload right now, thinking about these government contracts, they're visiting the website, they're signing up for whatever, whatever webinar you got coming up next. And I want to ask you a question we've asked everybody that's been on this show, and that's this. Perhaps you're that person who's just graduated college, or perhaps you didn't even graduate from college at all. You dropped out, but you're asking yourself the question of the podcast: school's over, now what? What advice would Jason White give?
Yeah, man. So school's over now. What now? It's time to get to it. Most people don't understand, and I like this from Eric Thomas, right? Unlocking your greatness. Most people don't understand it's already in you. You didn't have to go to school. You went to it, but congratulations that you graduated. I'm proud of you. But whatever you were looking for in those books was already within you. You just got to find an avenue or find a lane or find a vehicle that pulls all of that out of you. That's all that's it, right? So now it's really just time to get to it. Somebody else told me one day, they was like, yo, if federal government contracting not your passion, why you doing it? I like, because it fuels my passion. I understand that federal government contracting embodies all of the skill sets that I have to be successful to fuel my passion. That's all it's about for me. You know what I mean? So school is out. Now it's time to get to work.
Facts, fam. Listen, I appreciate you for being on the show, crushing it. And people right now want to just follow you. Just give them all your social media and where we can stay up with you at.
Yep. I am Jason White _ on Instagram. If you talk to me, I talk back. My website is thefederalcode.com. If you go there, you'll see I got 6 workshops, live workshops around the country this year, starting in February. February 23rd is our first one. We in San Diego, California. California, show your boys some love, you feel me? And then you'll see all the other venues and cities that I met at a spot near you. Come through, come pull up on me, come learn something.
Facts, fam. And they learn a lot. We'll have those links down below in the show notes. Guys, thanks for rocking with us. Always remember, dream it, believe it, go out and get it.